Hello, and welcome to the show with Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. Previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday, and interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube at Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, that guy, James J., alongside the leader of Squash Squad, Calico Yachts, and the American Scooter Dust.
Uh, with great power comes great big booty bitches.
And it was a good week for wrestling with as we interviewed Jenny Santana. If you didn't know, the daughter of Tito Santana. Great conversation. Can't recommend it enough. And of course, last Wednesday we interviewed Anthony Andrews, the other half of the new NWA United States Tag Team Champions. Again, an incredible interview. Got some insight on the aftermath of winning the titles, which is probably a worse story than Jericho getting locked out of his hotel room. Um, so yeah, you definitely want to listen to that. That being said, we got a lot of shit coming up next because we're kind of bringing back the wrestling with madness week that we had a couple of years ago. And it all starts with an interview on Tuesday with Boyle Del Mar, our first ever manager we've had on the show, and our first ever drag queen as well. Boyle is an incredible human being. We have a great chat about pro wrestling, Silas Mason, NWA, his inspirations, as Boyo and all everything in between. So you definitely don't want to miss that. And on Wednesday we have Silas Mason, Delmar's other half. It's a great interview. Silas is going to be an NWA World Champion sooner rather than later. Until then, find out what came out of his elbow and why he was dressed as Sasquatch, and if or if not he was actually in Cocaine Bear. Um, and you could listen to actually no, we have more things on the bracket as well. We got our first watch along in quite some time with Jack Tomlinson and Dante Draco. We do a watch along of one of their matches. It's kind of half of an interview, half of a watch along, and it was great catching up with those guys. And we share a lot of laughs doing a watch along of their match against MLK, Little Mean Kathleen, and Teddy Goods. So you could catch that on Thursday. And then next Saturday, we have a watch along of Kaliko's co winning match from last year's Wrestling with Madness tournament bracket. Charlotte versus Becky versus Sasha from WrestleMania 32. Yeah. So join us mostly all next week for incredible content. Well, actually, this week. This week, join us all this week, and here's some clips of our interviews with Del Mar and Silas.
You know, I think that one of the phenomenal things about being exactly who and what I am in the world of professional wrestling, by that I mean as a drag personality who is serving and offering viewers an illusion from top to bottom, I can become any character that I need to be. And I can become, if I was paired up with, you may remember him. He's been gone from NWA programming for quite a while, but we had Captain Yuma with us in the National Wrestling Alliance for a while. And Captain Yuma's whole character is that he's this intergalactic star traveler. And I jokingly said that if Captain Yuma ever came back, I would love to be paired up with him as one of his alien mistresses, somebody he met in another galaxy. And I would like be entirely pink and wearing like a spacesuit and wouldn't even speak. I would just be like, beep, beep, boo, 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 boo. So, I am able to metamorphosize into whatever I need to be.
You have a participation trophy for a battle royal you competed in for Controlled Narrative.
I was sitting there scratching. I was like, "When the hell was I in a battle royal for NWA?" Oh yeah. Well, technically, everybody got one.
Apparently, AJ didn't get one. He lost his.
Well, I took AJ's.
Oh,
I wanted to. I wanted to.
so okay,
I'm a double participation trophy. I'm a double participation trophy champion.
so you're the most participating.
Participated the most.
When we had AJ, he was like, "Somebody stole my participation trophy." Like, who does that?
Well, hey, I had to pawn it for gas money.
Oh wow.
No, it was mowing season then. And I got a big yard, buddy.
Ah, I see. Alright, and the week after that, we got a great interview with Sal Lunaro. So, catch that on the 5th, I believe. Alright, I believe we're done putting ourselves over. Right, Scooter?
I'd say so.
Well, it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with some news. Um, One of the bigger pieces of news, I'd say, we finally got it. El Hijo El Vikino versus Kenny Omega.
Yeah,
The dream
yeah.
match.
I mean, I actually heard how they were pronouncing it. El Hijo de Vikingo.
Bless you.
Like,
Um,
Vikingo? Really? Vikingo?
so, did you dream of Vikino, Scooter?
I did not.
I definitely, when I was watching the match. I'm being mean, but it was actually a good match. So, congratulations him for finally being known in the United States. Somebody that wishes that he wasn't maybe as well known in the United States. CM Punk is back in the news, so it's got to be Tuesday, right?
Yep.
It's believed that he wants to make amends, whatever that may mean, and come back to AEW and finish out his contract. Scooter, do you think that this is any truth to it? If it is true, if there is any truth to it, do you believe that there is genuine regret and from CM Punk and that he does want to make amends?
No, not in the slightest.
You think he just wants to finish out his contract so he could get his money and leave?
Yeah, basically.
You think we'll see him on WWE TV after his contract with AEW is done?
I actually plan to see him on the street corner with a sign that says, "We'll bump for food."
Was he next to the bar that the Botanicals bartend?
Kentucky Fried Frankie?
Hmm. I'm assuming you saw the Instagram post, right?
What Instagram post?
from CM Punk that he soon deleted that said that Dave Meltzer and Chris Jericho are liars.
Uh, I mean, I don't think they needed a post for that.
No, but it's the first time he kind of called somebody out since um, Double or Nothing. I don't know where this is leading, or maybe that it may be a war, because it kind of feels like it might be. But hopefully we'll see him back on AEW TV, and he could produce some good shit for them and actually boost their ratings. And a perfect world. No?
Well, here's hoping.
Yeah. Alright. Since our last episode, a new person was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, and that is Andy Kaufman. Finally, a celebrity that you say, yeah, that makes sense, right?
I mean, I've been saying it for how many times now? For many years.
Yeah.
That Kaufman was a no-brainer.
I mean, we just need Lopper in there, and it's kind of the two people that were the catalyst of projecting wrestling into the era that we know now.
Well, the question uh, can is uh, will Jerry be well enough to induct him?
That's right.
I don't think he will be. I think
Jimmy Hart.
they're gonna have to. That's exactly what I was going to say. Jimmy Hart. I mean, unless they shell out bucks and uh, get Jim Carrey or Courtney Love. You know what? I would even say they probably even have a better shot of getting Paul Giamatti.
I think Paul Giamatti is a better call than Courtney Love. Oh, wait. I know who could induct him. Black China. There you go.
um, it could be dang it, Bob Zamuda, the Kaufman's friend and compatriot, who would be the other one dressing up as Tony Clifton when Kaufman was on stage. So maybe we get somebody dressed up as Tony Clifton.
Who's actually going to accept the honor? Does Andy Kaufman have kids?
No, he does not.
So
His wife is still very much alive.
Okay. So that was the acceptee, I suppose.
I would honestly think if they can put a cameraman close to him, then Jerry will accept it for him.
Would you want Jay Lawler to accept it for him? I feel like it should be somebody that was, personal to him, that was a family member or.
I mean, Andy Kaufman was the absolute biggest fan of Jerry Lawler.
True.
People seem to overlook that. I said, Jim Carrey, Paul Giamatti, Bob Zamuda, dressed up as Tony Clifton. Hell, maybe you get Danny DeVito from Taxi.
Oh, that might work.
Um, there's a lot that can be done with this because Kaufman, for he touched so many people for you know from both wrestling and comedy. He was truly the first Hollywood entertainer to cross that boundary.
That he was.
And now that I even think about it more, I think it should be Danny DeVito. Uh, he was in Man on the Moon, and was on Taxi with Kaufman. So
That he was. Now, as it stands right now, there are three inductees into the WWE Hall of Fame: Rey Mysterio, the Great Muta, and Andy Kaufman. Two of which never actually competed in WWE in no shape, way, or form.
uh, uh, it depends on how you look at how the match between Kaufman and Lawler.
What do you mean? Because
I
that was
mean,
in
it
Memphis.
happened. Yes, it was in Memphis. It was part of Jim Crockett. Um, but it was also right around uh, the same time where when Black Sunday happened, when Crockett got bought out. Um,
So he could be associated with WCW?
no, he can't. No, it's Mid South. I bel I believe that you can't associate Kaufman with the WWF.
Because he made like one appearance on their TV just
Mc,
in the
I
crowd?
mean, yeah, McMahon Senior. I can't remember if McMahon Senior was high. It was all four the for all four Kaufman coming in.
He was not, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But let let's just put it out there. Muda and Kaufman are not really associated with WWE. They're associated with wrestling, absolutely, but not WWE specifically. How do you feel about two of your three Hall of Famers this year not having too much correlation with the actual product?
Uh, I guess we'll say we'll wait on uh, who's left to be inducted. And I think I might want to. I I would wait just to see who could be considered.
Well,
I mean, uh, I mean,
as it stands right now, Rey Mysterio does speak English to the point that they have to dub over him Spanish. Um,
only if they're showing it on Netflix, though.
right. Muda only speaks Japanese, and you technically need a Ouija board to talk to Andy Kaufman. So like this is going to be the shortest Hall of Fame ever Like, if we're out of there in 20 minutes, it would probably be a lot.
But there's been a whole mystery. The myth about whether or not Andy is still alive, and if you've seen Man on the Moon, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But 1 year after Kaufman died, uh, someone dressed as Tony Clifton, more than likely Bob Zamuda, showed up at the Comedy Store in L.A., and the audience kept chanting for Andy. They were saying, like, we want to see Andy, and Zamuda's response, or Tony Clifton's response was, you guys want to see Andy? Anybody got a flashlight and a couple of shovels? Oh, man. And let's not forget that, Kaufman also comes from, the same area of Long Island that me, Jack Thompson, come from as well. My father also worked on Man on the Moon.
Interesting.
Yeah, he actually was Jim Carrey's driver for a bit.
Interesting. Alright,
Yeah.
another interesting thing is, it's rumored that Braun Breaker and Cameron Grimes are going to debut on the Raw after Mania. Um, Cameron Grimes is a long time coming, honestly. He needed to
I mean,
be on,
especially with his new look.
which is unrecognizable, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, but again, it's a long time coming. He needs to be on that show, and I see him being very successful because he's a very likable character, and I see him doing well. Um, Von Breaker. As of right now, um, like over a little over 6,000 tickets were sold for Stand and Deliver, and I can imagine most of that wasn't because Braun Breakers was fighting Carmelo Hayes. Does NXT take a really big blow if Braun Breaker goes to the main roster?
Uh, I don't think so. Uh, I mean, they can really make anyone into a star in NXT if they just try.
Oh, and you don't think that they're actually trying?
I think some of them have um some natural chemistry.
So you think that Last Legend, if given the chance, could be a top tier, bigger than the Four Horsewomen type talent?
No,
My points exactly.
but you're saying every person on the roster is Last Legend.
I would say everybody.
See, it doesn't sound good when somebody's putting words in your mouth.
But, I mean, when there's more grass than green grass in your company, like NXT, than actual stars that people actually want to see, don't you need to have those people in those spots until you do actually find somebody that you know will absolutely draw the same as that person, or at least something equated to it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
That being said, is Braun Breaker actually ready to be on the main roster?
Uh,
Your silence
hmm.
speaks volumes.
That remains to be seen.
I mean, where would he actually fit well that people would actually believe him? And he's not exactly, 100% a great wrestler at this point. He still has a lot of growing to do.
Oh,
I think Cameron
maybe,
Grimes needs to make his
maybe.
debut and leave Von Breakker where he
Yes.
is.
Uh, I mean, you could put Breaker in a vest and call him the Vestler. Ah,
And that's your dad joke of the night. Alright, Brad Maddox resurfaced. Remember that guy? Uh,
oh my God, that's so funny
he,
because
yeah,
oh man, on Wednesday night I have Dynamite on. I'm watching the Tony Storm versus Blue Sky,
Sky Blue.
Sky Blue, Blue Sky, whatever, motherfucker. And part of me just wants to put out a tweet congratulating AEW on their signing of Brad Maddox.
Well, he did an interview, and he said during his time with WWE, he had a porn and sex addiction. Which is kind of odd to which
No.
is kind of odd to say because the Banger Bros weren't a thing, and that's your other joke of the night. All right, that's the news because we got
uh, uh, more news.
okay.
Uh, it is official. Naomi is no longer under contract.
As far as I know, she never was.
No, she's been flat out. Uh, really, she has no more ties to the WWE. She's even posted a trademark for her post WWE name. Uh,
I believe it was
and she's
Trinity
going
Star.
Trinity Star. Um,
Continue.
yep. Let's say the copyright was made through the help of the gimmick attorney Michael Dawkins for all merchandise included here within, uh, and entertainment in the nature of wrestling contests. Uh, uh, in fact, yesterday, Naomi herself told a fan that she was no longer with the WWE, despite the website still listing her as a superstar.
You think Naomi regrets her decision of working out with Sasha Banks?
Yeah, I can't imagine her not regretting it. Like she may have thought she was, striking a blow for women's wrestling, and but she was following in the footsteps of a brat throwing a tantrum.
Right. And there were so many strikes on her to begin with. It's just kind of if she's going to make these types of problems, then we're probably better off without
And I hate to bring this into this discussion because it should not be an issue, but I'm not sure if Naomi herself realized how crucial she actually was to the women's division, uh, since 2016. I mean, being one of the few African American female wrestlers in WWE today.
that could actually
Uh,
call herself a former WWE Women's Champion.
that's true. But yeah, when we saw her, Naomi would do the appearances and put in the work for Black History Month, for Women's History Month, and she she would go and give motivational talks to young girls, and it's like, okay, you know,
I mean, as good as
the
continue.
part of me is also wondering if Naomi felt like she couldn't compete with Bianca.
I wouldn't say that necessarily, but it did feel like whatever she did, it was never really whatever WWE did for her. It was never really good enough for her. They whatever WWE actually did do for her, it was honestly just to keep her fans happy and quiet because it didn't interfere with anything that they were doing in the main card, which was uh I whatever it was at that time. But you know, they literally brought her back at WrestleMania last year at WrestleMania to win the tag team championships. I mean, yes, those championships mean next to nothing, but they put those titles on her to make her happy, to make her fans happy, and it wasn't enough. So, I mean, where do you go with that? Well, we put titles on her. We gave her WrestleMania matches. We're giving her the sky. We're not giving her the moon, but we're giving her the sun. And but it's not good enough for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's like the saying goes: shoot for the moon because at least if you miss, you'll still be among the stars.
Right. Well, I don't know who's gonna pick her up. AEW seems like a wasted opportunity. Um, Impact, that might be something.
Uh,
But she's definitely
uh,
not going to Stardom.
nope. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Mercedes Monet is doing everything she can to prevent Naomi from being hired by Stardom.
Yeah, she's hard to work with. I was minding my business backstage in WWE, and she said we're walking out, and I just followed her.
I, I mean, she did the same thing with me, but I was, you know, I was taking a piss in the men's room when she said it to me.
Well, you
I'm like,
stop.
what? I'm like, this is a men's room, right? She's like, I don't care, we're walking out. I'm like, but I only sell hot dogs. I don't care, we're walking out. I'm like, would you like a foot long? And she's like, no, they make me uncomfortable.
Will you stop it?
Stupid sexy Flanders.
Alright, I believe that is the news for right now.
Yes.
And now a quick word from our sponsors. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low calorie, no sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off brands out there that are presenting low quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
use promo code WrestlingWithe for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with WWE WrestleMania 39, Night 1 and 2. Um,
Um, we can confirm now that I called it last week. Night 1 is going to kick off with John Cena and Austin Theory.
so Kaliko knows what night he's getting closer tickets for. Nice. Um, it's not as clean as it was last year, where everything was set up. Things are a little bit more up in the air as they was compared to last year. But as a whole, how do you feel this build-up has been, Escudo?
Honestly, this screams WrestleMania 20 to me.
Hmm.
Because if you remember, WrestleMania 20 didn't have that much build-up. I mean, literally the build-up started at the Royal Rumble. Just like it has here. Tag teams being thrown into random matches, people being thrown into random tag teams. Yeah, I mean, okay, I mean, it doesn't feel as concrete as it should be. For example, okay, let's take Logan Paul and Seth Rollins. Why should we care? I mean, is it because it'll give us a chance to drink Prime? Drink Dante. Uh, um, it's like, okay, yeah, we know Logan Paul is an asshole. We also know Logan Paul is quite a decent entertainer when it comes to the world of pro wrestling. I'm not going to deny him that.
Correct.
And odds are it's gonna be a good match.
It might be the match of the 2 days.
But but yeah, the match itself does not a match make. I mean, this is this is almost the equivalent of, oh, you spilled a cup of coffee on me. Now we're wrestling at Survivor Series.
I mean, they can't all be Cody and Roman, I suppose.
Yes, but there could be at least some kind of story. You know,
I
the
mean,
match that's most invested story wise is Sammy and KO against the Usos.
that's right. But like what I'm seeing is, obviously they only have Logan Paul for, extended periods of time that they can really only build certain things. So I mean,
Until we get to Backlash and get Bad Bunny.
yes. Um. So I mean, what they have hit the mark, I would say. I mean, he eliminated Seth Rollins from the Royal Rumble. Number one gripe. A second gripe is, he attacked him and cost him the United States Championship in the Elimination Chamber. So, I mean, the foundation is there. It's
Yeah.
just maybe the walls are a little more creakier than you would like them to be.
I mean, people are saying thank you, Logan, for that because yeah, the U.S. title's beneath Seth at this point.
I will, I
I
will,
mean,
I will say this about WrestleMania. I don't feel like WrestleMania has had so many story-heavy uh components to it in a really long time. Um, and yeah, there's some bad shit on there, and yeah, there's some shit that got messed up because plans. But the matches that people do actually want to see, the ones that were projected to be that we thought was going to be, they are on the card, and the build up hasn't disappointed, in my opinion. Anything you want to
yeah,
add to that?
um, yeah, I'd agree. Um, uh, interesting factoid: if John Cena becomes the first superstar to challenge for the same title in the opening matches of a WrestleMania.
Really?
And when he did it the first time, that was the first title he won.
Yes.
This could be the last title he wins.
This is also correct. Well, since all the matches aren't exactly confirmed for each night, we're just gonna go through the matches that are confirmed for WrestleMania Night 1 and 2. And let's start with the matches that you are probably going to, take a rest on. The break matches, as they call them. We got Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez versus TBA and TBA and TBA, TBA,
Oh, oh,
TBA, and
and
TBA.
this just in, also announced TBA.
That's too many TBAs, Scooter.
Fine. BVDs.
It'd be great if they had all BD.
I know, I said BVDs, as in the underwear.
Hmm. Um. So, yeah. What do you think Liv Morgan's gonna win?
Um, hopefully, enough to leave it to my imagination.
Yes. Um.
Yeah, because
But
I'm destined to be Liv Morgan's sugar daddy.
what do you think they haven't announced the rest of the people in this match? Is it because they're still on the fence if Ronda is actually going to be in this match?
I mean, as of last night, Natalia and Shotzi are a team in it. Ronda and Shayna are a team. But as far as we know, Ronda is still technically injured.
Do you think that they're wasting Ronda Rousey in a essentially a throwaway match?
No, because yeah, I fucking hate Ronda Rousey to begin with.
Fair enough.
I mean, maybe she'll learn to not call her spots so loudly.
But if Ronda is indeed in this match, her and Baszler are going to win, correct?
No, no, oh no. Uh, it, they gotta start putting real roots down between one pair of these women, but it's not going to be Ronda and Shayna.
As a
I mean,
viable threat for the tag team titles, you mean?
unless you're planning on doing something along the lines of Ronda and Shayna against Trish and Lita,
Oh,
and
maybe.
quite honestly, I think it should have been Trish and Lita, against some combination of the horsewomen.
What are your
Yeah,
thoughts
yeah.
on Becky and Lita competing on night one with Trish in the triple threat match, and then competing the next night in this fatal four way tag match and putting their titles on the line?
You mean one? You mean the 6-man tag, not the triple threat?
Yeah.
Um, I'm wondering if 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 they're going to start bridging Becky and Seth to get together again. Um, in anticipation for some crossover of a match. Um, I unless it ends up being Trish and Lita, and they end up winning the titles, and and Becky is out of it.
I mean, how? She's tag team champion with Becky. It's Becky and Lita. You have to eliminate
You
Trish and
can't you cannot you can't tell me that it feels a little bit out of place
well,
that in this trio it's Becky and Lita that are the champs and not Lita and Trish.
well, of course, Becky is the one that we need on the show. That's the only reason they brought back Lita is to give her an attraction match that wasn't, and Sasha was obviously not available because this was definitely
No,
Sasha's, role in WrestleMania if she was there, was to be
the
Becky's partner.
I mean, they were going to do, as far as I've read, it was going to be Trish and Lita against Becky and Partner, or it's going to be Trish and Becky. Oh man, I don't see why they can't put the tag titles on the line again in in a 6-woman tag match.
Because it's a 6-woman tag match for 2 belts, unless they make them trios.
They've had 6-man tag matches for the WWE Championship, where whoever scored the pinfall on the team won. King of the Ring 99.
No, we're so past 91.
Um,
I think it's a possibility that we might see Becky and Lita defend the titles and maybe even drop the belts to somebody on night 2 if their match is night 1. That's my thoughts on it.
mm, I don't think one or the other. They're both the women's showcase and the 6-woman tag. They're not going to be in the same night.
Alright, let's talk about the men's. We got Braun Strowman and Flippy Ricochet, the Street Profits, Alpha Academy, and the Viking Raiders. Who wins here? And do you have
Maximum male models.
because they plucked what is his name?
Otis.
Otis?
Otis.
Otis. Yeah, whatever. Uh if this could we see hypothetically Alpha Academy or Strowman and Ricochet out of this match, and like I said, throw in Randy Orton in there and Riddle. Because Randy Orton
And
is
then,
scheduled to be there, and I mean, why would Randy Orton not want to be on the biggest show of the year?
okay, true. But Riddle still nowhere to be seen.
Yes, but
Still, still, still out. And
they'll hire a private detective to fucking find him if Randy Orton wants to wrestle.
but if they follow this pattern, then it's gonna be Cody and Randy at SummerSlam.
Possibly.
And at whichever pay per view comes after WrestleMania now,
Backlash.
which is in, yeah, in Puerto Rico, I'm going to assume that main event is actually going to be Cody and Gunther.
Okay, but where does Randy Orton fit on this card?
He doesn't. There is nowhere where Randy could fit except the Hell in a Cell match.
What, rehash Edge and Orton?
No, Randy takes over Judgment Day.
Hmm, interesting. Well,
Um, I mean, there's nowhere else. There's nowhere else that he fits.
the Strowman Ricochet, fatal four-way tag team showcase match. Who wins that?
Alpha Academy with Otis winning by accident.
I'll go with the Street Profits. All right. Intercontinental Championship match: Gunther versus Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Who wins, Scooter?
I am I'm actually very interested in this match. I do have to say though that on SmackDown they threw away Gunther and Butch's first one-on-one match on main roster television.
Considering what a big match that was in NXT.
And considering that Butch is seen apparently after WrestleMania Butch is going back to Pete Dunne. So
Butch is
uh
going to be done? Wow. News to me.
uh but they will be uh, the winner will be the first person to claim the bucket filled with Ridge Holland's waxed hair. Um, this, I think this clearly has Sheamus winning all over it.
Really? I saw McIntyre winning.
McIntyre doesn't need it.
He doesn't need it, but I think people would like to see, one of the top baby faces win a title at WrestleMania.
Uh, and if Sheamus were to win, he would be cheered because it's the last title left that he hasn't won.
True.
They've made a point of mentioning that at every opportunity.
Right. And this is going to be a banger of a match. Well, I mean, it is the Bengal Bros in it, so. Um, does whoever does win, does Gunther not eat a pin here? Do they protect Gunther from actually losing the title without getting pinned?
It's a possibility. Um, I do see, I do see Sheamus and Drew, uh, picking the feud up for one more pay per view at Backlash.
Quite possibly, yes.
Um, you take Gunther out and you do the thing where you start pushing the runner up from the Royal Rumble as as a contender in the months leading up to before SummerSlam. Cody Gunther at Money in the Bank, maybe.
And Gunther would get a pop because, he is from the UK.
Yeah.
That's not a
Well,
bad
no,
idea.
he's not.
He's from Austria.
Austria. That's not in the UK.
The same thing.
No.
Yes, absolutely. Um,
You son of a bitch.
uh, so you're going Sheamus, I'm going McIntyre.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, United States Championship match. Austin Theory versus John Cena. Who wins, Scooter?
In theory.
I feel like John Cena was there just a little bit more than he has, which is literally just coming to set up the match and that's it. There might have been a chance that he would win the match, but since he's not there, then yeah, Theory. All right, Becky, Lita, and Trish versus Damage Control. Who wins, Scooter?
Trish, Lita, and Becky.
Yeah. So, no Dakota Kai and Io Sky.
No.
Okay. Um, Arguably one of the more interesting matches on the card with a lot of build up. Almost a year at this point. The Real Devil, Edge, versus the Demon, Finn Balor, in a Hell in a Cell match. It's gonna be a great fucking match if it's done right. And it does seem like a lot of the shit Edge has done has been right. Um, but what say you, Scooter? Who wins?
This has to be where Edge finally he puts it to bed and Finn gets the comeuppance.
I think it's time that. Yeah, I think Edge wins this one, considering that he lost the I Quit match. All right, Brock Lesnar versus Omos.
Brock, move on.
Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul.
I mean, Logan Paul's got one of the worst records in WWE history.
I mean, he won last year at WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting the tag with Miz was a win.
And he beat The Miz at SummerSlam as well.
That doesn't count.
It was on the second biggest show of the year.
Doesn't count. La 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 la. Um, Seth, and I kind of hope we have a Sting situation here.
Oh, no. No.
It can't be it. Oh, really? When we get to the father versus son match,
Well,
believe me, you'll think of something much worse.
Seth, I'm going with Seth to win the match.
Yeah, I'm going with Seth. Yes.
Hypothetically speaking, do you think Logan Paul might go have a run in AEW where he fights Moxley?
God no. I mean, if that were ever happen, we would be witnessing a murder.
I know what you mean. I'm
Logan,
concerned about how much Moxley bleeds, and that might be where his time comes
uh,
up.
it's it's not that. It's the fact that they'll convince Logan to bleed, but they won't tell him how to,
Properly do it.
control it.
Yeah.
And we have the first ever, and your winner via blood loss.
Oh my god. It's a Texas death.
Your winner via first, second, third, fourth, and fifth blood.
Um, so we're both in agreement for Seth Rollins.
Yes.
All right. Raw Women's Championship match: Asuka versus Bianca Belair. Honestly, this is probably going to be a great match. The bad part of it was to say that the build-up for this match was lackluster is an understatement. It was complete and utter garbage. And to say that this is going to be a big marquee match is just not true at this point. Not to say, that Idol Girl did anything, but it's just not there. Um, that being said, Scooter, who do you think wins?
Does Asuka break her WrestleMania losing streak? No. Bianca wins.
My heart is telling me Asuka, and my brain is telling me Belair. She's had it for a year. I think she has to. It's time to drop it to Asuka. Give her her WrestleMania moment. I mean, she wouldn't have put that makeup on if she didn't want to win a title. All right.
Very, very true.
I think it's time we talk about the matches that haven't been confirmed yet. Which there are a couple, and we spoke a little bit already about Randy Orton. But Dominic Mysterio versus Rey Mysterio, that's definitely happening, right, Scooter?
Yep.
All right, who wins?
Paraguayo. Uh, I mean, they've done a great job of making Dominic this annoying little spoiled brat. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they start throwing condoms in the ring afterwards. Ex
Condoms?
condom. Yep. uh,
Probably I wasn't the only one on Reddit.
you know, if you think Dominic is winning, I'd like to sell you a bridge.
I mean, why? The only what does Rey Mysterio get out of beating his own son at WrestleMania?
Hurting motherfuckers? I don't know.
What does Dominic get out of beating his father? Beating one of the all-time great wrestlers of all time, current Hall of Famer, world champion at the biggest show of the year. I think, I
I
think
mean,
Dom has to win.
well, we'll know for sure if Dom pops out with a skeleton that's labeled Eddie Guerrero.
Well, he might be coming with maybe perhaps a fossil in his real biological mother, Vicky Guerrero. Uh, the other match, rumored, not yet confirmed, probably not happening at this point. Bray Wyatt versus Bobby Lashley. Um, what the hell's going on with Bray Wyatt? It seems like he sets up these rivalries that last for years on end, and then he gets hurt doing literally fucking nothing, and it all goes to waste. Your thoughts, Scooter?
Uh, I mean, unless they're planning on doing something in last minute, I don't know what to think anymore about it.
Do you think if we don't see Bray Wyatt wrestle, um, they're not going to let Bobby Lashley off of this card. Who replaces Bray Wyatt? Is that where you put Randy Orton?
That'd be interesting because Lashley and Orton haven't feuded.
It would basically be like the Seth Rollins Cody match, where Bobby's like, I'm being off this card. Somebody come out here so I could beat them up, and then
Oh,
hear
okay.
I hear voices.
Here's something. We end up getting Bray and Lashley, but it ends up being a tag team match. Bray and Uncle Howdy against Bobby Lashley and a partner of his choosing. That's where you put Randy.
How would he come to the conclusion of saying Randy Orton unless Randy Orton just literally came up to him and said, "Put me in this match"?
Because the match wouldn't, because the challenge would be issued on the kickoff show.
Hmm. What are the chances of Undertaker coming and whispering something in Bray's ear and then Bray just leaves?
Uh, I mean, considering that he may have to call the Undertaker about it. Oh wait, no, but that's what the Undertaker said. My phone's always open, brother.
Then he said, I tell your dad I use TurboTax. Um, but, okay, that's one thing on the slate. The other one, another thing that's rumored is LA Knight. LA Knight is, making a bid to be at WrestleMania. You can't have an LA WrestleMania without LA Knight. Um, rumored,
Okay,
huh?
me. All right, that's where you put Orton. Then.
I swear to God, that's going to be the name of the episode. That's where you put Orton. Um, it's if you believe in rumor and in innuendo, Stone Cold is going to answer that challenge. Now he didn't say that it was out of the question. He didn't say he was doing it, but he didn't exactly say no, he wasn't. Scooter, do we get Stone Cold versus LA Knight at WrestleMania?
No, we get The Rock.
I could have sworn we said that he wasn't going to be there.
He's not. Um,
Could it be Black China?
it might be Purple China for all we know at this point.
Gamora?
That would be Green China.
So there's a possibility. There's a tease there. There's also there's other names that are not featured on the card that we haven't heard from for quite some time. AJ Styles, uh,
Injured. Ankle. Still out.
is he?
Yep.
He literally just made a Snickers commercial.
He didn't literally make it. That's been in the can quite a while. But no matter how much you want to, don't ever come out of the bathroom sniffing your finger.
This is correct. Um, but I mean, it was just an ankle. He just broke his ankle. It like it was supposed to be
Do
out for
you do
5 weeks.
you know how do you know how bad an ankle injury can be?
Well, apparently I do not.
Especially when you're getting up there in age like AJ is. let's face AJ isn't air raiding anymore.
So you don't expect to see AJ Styles and or Big E on this card?
Big E, possibly. I expect. I expect the New Day to interfere in Miz's WrestleMania the musical.
That makes sense. So if it's not going to be Stone Cold, if it's not going to be Randy Orton, who does LA Knight wrestle at WrestleMania?
If he's able to, I mean, uh, Gargano.
No, it has to be somebody big. I would
He's
possibly.
got a bigger heart. He's got a bigger heart than the tallest man.
You might.
Uh,
You should see
uh,
Doctor
uh,
about that.
uh, Dabakato.
I would say Jay White, but I feel like that would only pop a certain amount of the crowd.
I
But
mean, if
if you know who Cody, if you followed Cody, you know where he was in AEW. But if you didn't follow what Cody was doing in AEW, you still know who Cody was because you watched WWE. You know what I mean? Jay White is kind
it's,
of, if you follow him, then yeah. But if you don't know who he is, you don't know who he is.
I mean, and considering that AEW is now running a feud between Ricky Starks and Juice Robinson,
Because that'll put asses in seats.
the odds of this being Cameron Grimes
Mm,
and them
uh,
running back their feud.
is there a possibility of Shawn Michaels?
No, are you kidding? If he's not going to wrestle Grayson Waller,
And why the fuck would he want to wrestle Grayson Waller at Stand and Deliver when WrestleMania is literally up the road?
because Sean knows he can't go anymore.
I, I believe that
He
he
is
believes that.
literally he is the Danny Glover of the WWE. He is literally too old for this shit. You have a better chance of Triple H. Oh no. Oh no.
What, Triple H versus LA Knight?
No. Vince.
Oh god, Vince McMahon versus LA Knight? How would that work?
Or Pat McAfee.
Oh, yeah, Pat. I can't believe I forgot about Pat.
Um Also the possibility of
Bad Bunny?
no if they're gonna start anything between Bad Bunny and somebody, it's gonna be on Raw
Okay,
because they're gonna want to focus on building into one of the first pay per views from in some time, quite some time in Puerto Rico.
since 2005.
I would say there's a chance Baron Corbin hijacks this
Oh god, no.
since he's been trying to um and maybe JBL decides to start backing LA Knight?
And then have an LA Knight Cameron Grimes tag team.
That could work. But then I'm afraid we'll end up getting a Pat McAfee Baron Corbin tag team.
I don't think Pat McAfee would go for that.
Keith Lee.
I think he retired to become a priest.
I mean, they've got Wesley and Dragon Lee in a match already. Just bring in Keith.
The Lees. Oh my god. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Uh, hold on, wait. If they go for the cheap pop, Rikishi.
Could Rikishi come back in something that doesn't involve the bloodline?
No, but he'd come out to, you look fly today.
I think that would only work if they brought Scotty 2 Hotty with him.
Which would be interesting because maybe he's due to go into the Hall of Fame.
You know, Too Cool should go into the Hall of Fame.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Whether Rikishi is a part of that or not, Brian Christopher and Scotty 2 Hotty,
Scott Taylor. Yeah.
they deserve it.
Or Scott Taylor.
Yeah. Alright, should we go back to matches that are actually confirmed?
Sure, why not?
Alright. Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match. The Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And my god, have they built this match to the moon, in the words of Cameron Grimes. Wow. This is one of the more heavily invested matches, maybe even to the point where it's more invested than the Cody Roman match at this point. That being said, who wins Riddle?
Given the track record here, if Sammy and KO don't win, you're gonna hear probably the loudest boos ever.
You might not be wrong about that.
I mean, this is the ultimate feel good story and a redemption story at the same time.
Right.
And it not only does it, three-quarters of the way close the book on Sammy and the Bloodline, but it closes the book on a full cycle of Sammy and KO, because since they've done everything else, the last thing they have to do is acquire those tag team titles.
Right. I mean,
You want one of your feel-good WrestleMania moments, that's it. Sammy and KO for the win.
I just have this like I can only imagine what the entrance is gonna be for Sammy and Kevin. Like actually have the an actual marching band play Sami Zayn's music for
See, yeah, KO is a simple man. He doesn't like the flashy entrances.
yeah, but you can't deny that it would add that just that much more listening to the song being played live or as they come down to the ring.
Like maybe it's not being played live, but I imagine a bunch of people in Sammy shirts, almost like Cena's WrestleMania 25 entrance,
Oh yeah.
and then finally two people unroll a banner that's got the picture of the Usos on it, and Sammy and Kevin just burst through it like they were a football team.
Well, I agree with you with the feel good moment of, obviously Sammy and Kevin winning the tag team championships. And if that has, I feel like that's the only choice at this point. If the Bloodline is going to lose, they're going to lose everything. And it starts with the Usos losing these titles. Um, that being said, and we'll get to Charlotte and Rhea in a minute. Some say that Rhea and Charlotte should main event night one of WrestleMania. There's another
No.
there's another half that people believe that Sammy and Kevin should. I'm I'm under that agreement as well that Sammy and Kevin should main event night one. What are your thoughts, Scooter?
Yeah. You can't you can't say that Charlotte and Rhea has had an interesting build because they're relying on their previous matches, which is a terrible thing to do. Um, so, man, it just uh, Rhea has been split between being Domi's mommy and clamoring for attention from Charlotte.
Well, let's get into it. Let's start the conversation. SmackDown Women's Championship match: Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. Um, and like you said, I feel like Rhea was poised for this position. I feel like she was, the second underneath Charlotte and all, the top girls to actually hold a championship. You know, get that underneath her belt, be that person she needs to be. Be that monster heel women's champion. Um, but since she's been feuding with Charlotte, whether it is like you said, maybe her spreading herself too thin at this point with being mommy and feuding and also feuding with Charlotte, she just feels like she's less than Charlotte when she should have been felt like an equal to her. You kind of understand what I mean.
Yeah, I absolutely do, and I think I'm gonna compare this to a really watered down version of the WrestleMania trilogy between The Rock and Stone Cold.
Where Charlotte beats her twice, and then Rhea gets the last win,
Yes,
and then she tells her she loves her when she beats her. Um,
perhaps.
yeah, but you know, at the Royal Rumble, if you told me, I would say at that moment, Rhea Ripley winning the Royal Rumble, I would say Rhea's going to win the whatever championship she goes after. Because seeing her in this feud and seeing her still not live up to Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte still making her look so little in front of her, I feel like Charlotte's got this match won.
I think it's gonna go to Rhea. It shouldn't, but I think it's gonna go to Rhea.
Hindsight being 2020, should this have been Bianca and Rhea,
Yes,
and run it back Charlotte versus Asuka?
yes.
You know that that would have been a bad idea.
I mean, this honestly, this could have been hell. I would even say, you could have done Becky Bailey.
I feel like they wasted that on Raw.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, we said that Sammy and Owens versus the Usos should main event night one of WrestleMania. But in actuality, do you believe that they are, or do you think it's going to be Charlotte and Rhea?
I don't think it's gonna be Charlotte or Rhea at all. I do think it's going to be the Usos against Sammy and KO, um, or it's going to be the Hell in a Cell match,
Hmm. Fair enough.
or if they're really ballsy, they do Logan and Seth.
No, definitely not.
Well, then Logan and Seth should be moved to night two.
Um. Alright. That brings us to the main event. The undisputed WWE Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes. Who wins who?
We've gone through this for
Over 6 months?
2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years of saying, "Oh yeah, yeah, oh it's Roman's time to lose. It's Roman's time to lose," and it never was until now. I said if the Usos don't lose, you're gonna hear boos. If Cody doesn't win, there's gonna be a riot bigger than a bunch of ECW fans cornering John Cena.
Hmm.
The sign of the night will be if Cody doesn't win, we riot. And I mean, hell, it's LA, man.
We're known for our rights.
Yes. Oh man, I love that sports ball team, the LA Riots.
It does seem like a missed opportunity. I don't remember what we said for the uh, WrestleMania review of last year, but I feel like we've been talking about Cody winning this title for over a year at this point. It's
Yeah.
if not a year, then definitely close to it.
No, literally, we've started from the moment we saw him come up in the Codiator. That's an elevator with Cody, not Cody on top of Leon White.
Hmm. Um.
New gimmick, Cody Vader.
Um. So yeah, this is the moment. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Um, some people wait a lifetime for a moment like this, and it is upon us. Cody will win the undisputed WWE Universal
Why don't you
Championship.
try flying without wings?
Well, Cody is the wind beneath my wings, so if he's not here,
Wrong. No, I'm sorry. We were looking for the song put out by the winner of season 3. Since we were going from American Idol winners, you picked the season 1 song. I picked the season 2 song. Therefore, you lose. Good day, sir.
I don't even I don't even remember what Carrie Underwood sang at the door of American Idol.
Uh, I believe it was "Sit on My Face." No.
Will you stop it? Alright, yep, that's the full preview of WrestleMania 39. This could either be one of the best WrestleManias of all time, or it could be the drizzling shits if things don't come together. I hope it's the former, but we'll see. And we'll be doing a full review of WrestleMania next not next week, but in 2 weeks, and that will conclude
Uh,
our coverage of WrestleMania and this episode
oh,
as well.
and the top. By the way, the top bet on DraftKings. Will it rain?
As somebody that's been in that lives here and it has
No,
not stopped
it won't.
raining since December. It's a very good possibility.
Somebody building an ark.
The Kodiak? Well, of
You get
course,
2 of every title on board.
thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Of course, this was sponsored by Road Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Boilo Del Mar. Wednesday, Silas Mason, and on Thursday, a watch along with Rockville University, Jack Tomlinson and Dante Drago. And then next Saturday, a watch along of Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks from WrestleMania 32. And we might have a few more things coming out during that week as well. Check out whatever we might have on Monday and on Friday as well. And you can follow the show at Wrestling with E, but on Twitter and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and a hell of a lot more. You can follow me personally at JamesG993. Where can we find Scooter?
As always, find me on Twitter at ScooterDust. Keep an eye to my Twitter for details about the remix and its future. And as always, revel in Season 2 of my Twitch antics. My Dungeons & Dragons campaign begins, Season 2 of it begins April 4th, along with Rico Constantino Jr. and the rest of the Smoking Dragons clan, twitch.tv/Smoking Dragons.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Inner King.
Botanicals.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.